Welcome to another lesson in the Students Debate Project for English 10. Today we'll be learning about using the Toulmin model of logic. You should have the Using the Toulmin model to develop arguments handout in front of you, and use that handout to follow along. It'll present some of the ideas that I'm about to discuss in note form, and you can take some extra notes on that sheet, of course, as you go. But let's go with the ideas. First of all, we're talking about logic. When we talk about logic, we're talking about rules that people follow to advance arguments, rules that people follow to reason, rules that they follow to prove a point and persuade somebody else of its truth. So we're talking about a specific model and a specific set of rules that you can use to prove your argumentative claim to be true. You've already sent your argumentative claim to me through Google Docs, and now you can see how you will be able to support that claim with some reasoning. So it's pretty simple once you follow the rules um, of the model. First of all, the model has three different parts, and those are, let me get my pen here, the claim, the warrant, and the grounds. The claim is the point. That's the resolution that you've written. So you should have already written something like this. The warrant is the value, the morality, the ideal, the principle that's involved. And the grounds, those are the evidence, that's the evidence that you will research. So you'll research a bunch of different statements, facts, polls, statistics, case studies, stories, and so on. Those will be your grounds. Each of these is a complete sentence, a statement. And if you write each one properly, it creates an argument which is valid. Valid means if all of these statements are true, the argument is undeniable. If the grounds are true, the warrant is true, then the claim must be true. So, let's look at the qualities of the model that we have here, of each statement, because each statement is constructed very specifically according to a set formula. First of all, you have an effective argumentative claim. And don't forget that we've talked about those before. They have 5 qualities. Effective argumentative claims are opinion-based, they are controversial, clear, arguable, and affirmative. So we have a clear argumentative claim saying that the United States federal government should illegalize smoking. Now, each of these sentences contains 2 distinct terms, and we'll call the terms totally throughout the entire model A, B, and C, but each one contains 2. So it might contain A and B and C, or A and C. The argumentative claim contains, first of all, term A. That's the responsible party, the people you want to do something. Now, in some of your arguments, it's the federal government. In some arguments, it is schools. In some arguments, it is people. Might be different sorts of agents or responsible parties, but A is the responsible party, the person or organization you want to do the action. B is the actual action. So you should tell me, we want this party to do this thing. In the case in front of you, it's the United States federal government illegalizing smoking. So we have term A and term B combined in the claim. The federal government should illegalize smoking. In your warrant, you will have another should statement. So your claim is a should statement. We know it's opinion-based. When you're constructing the warrant, one point that you should remember, and you'll see it on the Using the Toulmin model handout down at the bottom of the page, the last bullet, both of these should use the word should. And when we take a look at the warrant, we once again have term A. The warrant will repeat term A, that being the responsible party. So term A is in there again, and you'll see that it only appears twice. Term A will appear in the claim and in the warrant. Then we have the should, and now we have the value. Term C is the value. That's the goal or the ideal, the morality that you wish to achieve. So let's take a look at this. We say the United States federal government should illegalize smoking. What is our warrant? Well, the United States federal government should protect the health of its citizens. Why should we illegalize smoking? Because we want to protect the health of citizens. Now it seems like the claim and warrant are pretty closely related. They have the same A term, then we have an action, and the C, the value. However, in order to lock this in as valid logic, we need the grounds. Let's take a look at the grounds. The grounds repeats term C. Repeats term C as in the predicate of the grounds, you'll see protecting the health of U.S. citizens. It also repeats term B, illegalizing smoking. Now there's been a little bit of a change. We've changed this simple present tense to a present participle here. However, it's the same idea. Illegalize smoking up here, illegalize smoking down here. Notice that, notice that we do not use a should statement. This is not a should statement. So the last bullet on the qualities of the model, you should see the grounds do not use the should. They use a would or a will. In the using the Toulmin model to development arguments worksheet, you'll see a number of hints for how to rewrite the terms to go from something like illegalize smoking to illegalizing smoking, to go from should protect the health of U.S. citizens to, or of its citizens, to would protect the health of U.S. citizens. Appeal to that when you're fine-tuning this. But the most important part of constructing the Toulmin model is that we have terms A, B, and C in their correct places. At this point, I want to take a look at some student examples. That's the basic model. Use the worksheet. Use everything that I've told you and shown you here to construct exactly what you should for the next assignment with the claim, warrant, and grounds. Moving on to a student example. This is a student example that has been submitted for this project so far, and it states that states should illegalize the use of cell phones while driving. States up here would be term A. As we've said before, the responsible party. Illegalize the use of cell phones while driving is term B, and that would be the action. So we have terms A and B. And then the warrant, of course, should repeat A, use the word should, and lead to C. So let me see here. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I want it here. We know it should be something like this, and we know also that we should have we should not use the word should down here. Instead, we will use B will or would accomplish C. So, B and C. Oops, I used the wrong pen. Sorry. Let me use this pen. Disappearing pen doesn't work very well for actually expressing ideas. So A should C and B will or would C. This is the format. If you replace A with states, we know states should do something. And we know that illegalizing the use of cell phones while driving will accomplish it. We just have to figure out what this C is. And that we can figure out creatively. Let's see my idea. States should preserve safety on the roads. A, should, preserve safety on the roads looks to be my value. There's my C term. So let's see how I used it in the grounds. Illegalizing cell phone use while driving will preserve safety on the roads. There's my B. There's the word will. And here I have my value or my warrant, and that is C. So I've used a formula. The A and the B and the C relationship using should and non-should verbs, placing them in the correct positions. It's almost a mathematical formula for constructing sentences. So follow the formula properly and you can go from student example here to the full Toulmin model. Let's see one more. Schools should extend summer vacation by 1 month. So we have the A, schools. We have the action, extending summer vacation by 1 month, and we have the should. Now my warrant, of course, should say A should accomplish some kind of C. In trying to find out what C is, you should think, what are we accomplishing? What good is coming out of extending summer vacation by 1 month? A lot of you are probably thinking, well, I get to relax. Okay, so think about relaxing and having fun being a kid. Schools should assist students in relaxing and enjoying themselves. You're giving a moral. You're giving a value. You're giving an ideal. Students should, or schools should do this. And now you have your C. C, of course, is assisting students in relaxing and enjoying themselves. We'll combine B and C in the grounds, and we have extending summer vacation will assist students in relaxing and enjoying themselves. It's a pretty repetitive formula. It's very predictable, and it works very clearly to construct a solid and valid argument. Students often have problems because they depart from the formula that I've just given. They try to add different terms, they try to do something differently. Don't think about it. Just follow the formula. Follow everything that's been written on the worksheet that you have right there, because you must fill in these blanks yourself. Your assignment is to write an analysis of your argument according to the Toulmin model discussed and practiced here. So you'll submit your analysis through Google Docs. Please make sure that you are only adding it to the file you began with the resolution. So the file that's in Google Docs right now, just go back to it and add to it. Do not create a new file, and if you invited me properly the first time, you don't need to invite me again. The assignment is due in advance of the debate and is worth 9 points. You can see that the assignment is due on Friday. So by Friday, I would like to see your Google Docs file updated with the Toulmin model. If there are any questions about that, I will return tomorrow, and you can ask me then, or you can email me the questions. In the meantime, you have the remainder of class time to work with your group and with your fellow students to create this model. If you're here by yourself today and you need some help, don't be afraid to ask other students to help you in constructing your model. And you can also use this computer to access Google Docs if you need to see your resolution if you've not seen it yet. Thank you very much, and once again, if you have questions, address them when I return.